presentation video of a 2020 Greyhawk 27U. I'm going to start at the front, go through the engine, go around the driver's side, come back around the back, up the passenger side, start a second video inside. Up front, we don't work on the engine, we don't work on the chassis, but there are a few things I'm going to cover under the hood. One, location of your washer fluid. Passenger side of the vehicle, pretty easy to access. Everybody wants to know where that is because everybody uses it. Oil fill, transmission, lights on. Transmission fluid, this is dipstick to check your transmission fluid. Always check your transmission fluid while it is running and warm. Chassis battery, I like the fact that that's up front. One of the big things that I've always had to point out, and it's just kind of at an awkward location, is your oil dipstick. So if you're going to check your oil, check there. Always check your oil about every other fill up if you're traveling cross country. Just make sure it's safe and you're not burning anything. Brake fluid, coolant, power steering fluid, and air filter. Not a whole lot else I can cover under here besides some of the normal things, but beyond that, I'm gonna move on to the side here. Nice covers. Alright, mirrors on this one. A little bit of explaining to do. Alright, top mirror is power as well as heated. Bottom mirror is it's all manual. You have to adjust it by hand. You can't adjust it with anything power, which is okay because most of the time setting where they're at, they work for most people, unless you're super tall or super short. First compartment back is going to be your generator. This is a Onan QG 4000. QG stands for quiet gas. 4000 is 4000 watts. It's only rated for one air conditioner, and that's all there is in this, is one air conditioner. Oil change on this one. Oil change is going to be at 50 hours, 50. This has got 4 hours on it now, even being a used coach. Where you check your oil is that little yellow thing right there. Where you drain it is underneath, but there's a dipstick on that as well. You can start and stop your engine from here. You probably won't ever do that unless you're changing the oil yourself. And then if you can see that little breaker switch right there with a little hole in the center, looks like a little breaker. With that in the front position the way it's in, it's on. If it were to be back, that would be off. What I get is a lot of calls that say, hey, my generator is running but I'm not getting any power. That is the switch right there in between the two screws. That is going to be your breaker. Sometimes they pop if you're using too much power. If you need to know amount of oil or anything else on this, always refer to your owner's manual. Then your air filter right there. Compartment right behind that. This is a power compartment. This is where your power cord is stored. This is your power cord. It's about 30 feet. You have a 110 outlet and a cable inlet. The cable inlet for this one is going to be just, you get to a campground that has cable, plug it in, or if you want to do a satellite, you can do that. You're better off with just cable, because this will go to both TVs, and a little more to explain in that. But it's going to be better for cable. If you have a tailgate or something, it's not going to work so well. You have a little hole in the bottom so you can run your cord through it. I don't do it because it's just easier in the building. Low point drain is for your freshwater tank. Freshwater tank is going to store any of your potable water that you bring with you. Light, nice size storage in here. They are slam closed, so pretty simple. Decent tires. Little air chuck there. Let's see if I can see. There it is. So you have two air chucks, one right there, A little easier to access than most of the other ones. Unleaded fuel only is actually what it says. Unleaded fuel only. You don't have to put anything special in it. It is going to do just regular unleaded fuel. A little more storage. Also a light. Alright, right below that you're gonna see gray water holding tank, black holding tank. You're gonna see this one, even though it's in the video, it is a black handle, and that one is a gray handle. See them next to each other, kind of with light like that, you can see the difference. So black handle's black water, gray handle's gray water. Black water is your sewage water, gray water is going to be from your sink and stuff like that. Little storage compartment right behind this one. You have two low point drains. It's going to be one for hot, one for cold. It's going to be for short-term storage or long-term storage. You don't really want any water in the system. Just open those up, open your valves, and let the water drain on the ground. Alright, here's a fun one. You do have an outside shower, hot and cold, just in case you get some poo on you from, draining something, or if your dog rolls in the mud. You do have a water pump switch back here. City water connection. And everything I'm about to show you is all going to run from the city water connection here. So, a lot of people see this as intimidating. Let's try to simplify it for you. Alright, so as of right now, I have it set to 2 and 6. So 2 is up, 6 is to the right, so that's where we're at. 2 and 6 is the city fixtures. When you pick this one up, it is going to be on 2 and 4 because I am going to winterize the coach. It is cold right now, it's the middle of winter, and it's about 14 degrees. But that will give you that one. So 2 and 6 is going to be city fixtures, so you have pressure on your hose. It's going to be able to provide you water inside the coach. One below it, city fill tank. Basically the same concept, just fills your tank, your freshwater tank. Country fill pulls from uses your pump to pump in from a non-pressurized source like a lake or river, stored water that you collect from rain. Normal is going to be 3 and 5, which is going to be when you're pulling from your tank with your water pump. Sanitize, winterize, same concept. It all pulls from this little connection here. Pulls it in with your pump. The winterized lines, you turn it to that, you bypass your water heater, you suck in your antifreeze from this point. Sanitize tank 1 and 4. Let's get a 5-gallon bucket filled with 4 or 5 gallon or 4.5 gallons of water. Put a couple caps of bleach in it. Suck it into your tank and let it sit for an hour or 2. Afterwards, let it run through your lines, let that sit for a couple hours. And then drain everything, rinse it thoroughly, because bleach is toxic to us as well. But it will help if you ever have a problem with like stinky water and you're like, wow, my water just smells. That's what you're going to want to do is sanitize. And there is an option to run below. Right below that, you have a black tank flush. The black tank flush is going to be basically if you just empty your tank and you see it's still reading full or 3/4, what you're going to want to do on that one is move a separate hose or this hose, it wouldn't matter, to that inlet as well. What that will do is allow you to, what that is an upside down sprinkler inside the black tank that basically sprays the walls of the tank. It allows any of the debris to stay on there. Big caution with that. If you are using that, don't walk away from it. Don't leave it running. Make sure you're near it or your black tank valve is open and you are draining at the same time. Because if you don't, it will fill up the tank. It will pressurize the tank. It'll go to your toilet. If it goes to your toilet, it can either leak through the seals, the bowl, and then just create a giant crappy mess inside the coach, no pun intended. Or it can actually go through your stink pipe all the way to the roof, and then it'll rain poo water on down across the coach. We don't want that. That would really be a crappy day. Okay, so going on to the back here, we have a few LEDs down here, and we have some idlescent bulbs up there, as well as a rear view camera. The rear view camera is adjustable. You can aim it a little further towards the horizon or down towards the bumper a little more if you'd like. Ladder on this one has a 250 pound weight capacity on it, so if you're over 250 pounds or even pushing close to it, don't go up on the ladder. Just be safe. You have a 7-way plug here. It's for tow vehicle or anything behind it, as well as a 4-way plug. And then a nice size hitch as well. Let's see, 7,000 pound towing capacity, 700 pound tongue weight. Then nice bumper. Keep going. A little bit of storage. You do have a quick connect for propane, so if you ever want to hook up a outside grill or little fireplace, I guess you might do. The grill would be the biggest one. It's something you can hook into there, and it doesn't have to be regulated because it's already hooked to your propane. A little more storage. Furnace on this one, it says it's hot. Don't touch it. I know I touched it. Fridge, this is a reverse of the fridge. You basically twist these, quarter turn, both of them, and then you can pop that off. You want to get back there once a year, just vacuum it out, make sure there's not a lot of debris in there. Spiders like to get in there because it smells like propane. Then water heater. Water heater on this one. That's it's basic water heater. It's electric as well as gas, so you can run your gas or electric. I'll explain that more when I get inside, when I show you the switches. Plug for this one goes right there, so you can drain your water heater when you're done using it. Always drain your water heater if you're just storing it for a couple weeks or a month, just because stagnant water again. You don't want stagnant water. Propane on this one. It has a gauge right here. It does not have a gauge inside. It's reading a little over full right now. Once you're driving down the road, it should level back out. It'll actually just read as full. Propane nozzle there, and then fill port. The big thing about propane is you just basically need to know where the level is, as well as the knob. Mostly because you can't take the tank off, you'll have to bring it somewhere like us to fill it. And a little more storage. Alright, so you're going to see a couple things in here. One, it's going to say solar prep. Solar prep means it is prep for solar for the roof, and the wiring is there for the batteries. You have 110 outlet as well as a cable outlet, so if you have TV outside, you can at least hook up antenna and watch TV outside, or cable if you hook to a campground with cable. Door on this one, and awning. Right inside the door, you're going to see a couple things. I'm going to skip a couple things, but I'm going to get back to them in the second video. Awning, switch in and out. Then you're going to have power step, exterior lights, which are going to affect some of the other lights around you, awning lights, and speakers. So if you see outside, there's a speaker here and a speaker a little further back by your furnace. It runs by your dash stereo. We'll turn it to inside because you have a couple speakers inside as well. 4 of them. You can actually change it between inside and outside. You cannot listen to both at the same time. The awning light is going to be on the awning tube itself, so when you're all the way rolled out, you'll see the light there. Let's get back to the power step switch. Right now, let's turn it back off. Close the screen door. The step stays out. Open the screen door, turn that switch back on, close the screen door, step goes in. Alright, so with that, makes it so you don't have to worry about falling out of the coach if you decide, you know, wake up, you didn't have your coffee yet, and you're not just falling on the ground because you don't have to, you did not wait for the step to come out all the way. Kind of a cool little feature. Also, in this position, if you forget to turn the switch back on, it is okay. As soon as you turn the ignition on, it bypasses the switch and it sends power to the step. So if your door is closed, it will run the step in, and you don't have to worry about driving with your step out. Main power, I will cover that in the next video, as well as the leveling system. But beyond that, if you feel like I missed anything, or if you have any more questions, feel free to email us. While you're here, ask questions. Nobody here is afraid to answer questions. If we don't know an answer, we will find the answer for you. And I will see you in the next video.